Now he's got him on an island. He'll take and make the three. Can't buy one. Zubac's offensive rebound. George keeps on firing. And it finally goes down. George using the screen. The pull-up jump goes down for Paul George to give it up. Kennard from the corner. It doesn't go. Rebound kept alive by Rondo. George, one dribble and a J. Yes, sir!
Yeah, I mean that is the highest compliment. There's an edge to that group.
Everybody walking around with a puffy chest. Neal right up into Paul George. Great defense. George makes tough shot. Steps through over to Leonard for three. And Kawhi knocks that
Shot from Joe Ingles.
Ends a 9-0 run. Paul George lost his balance. Got it! Paul George out top off the Batum screen. Gobert switches onto him. PG draws it with a little over a minute to go. George with in and out dribble. Puts it up. Whistle counted! PG! Cross court to Morris. One more to George, and he slams it home. Royce O'Neal on defense. George steps back and drills it. And Paul George cuts that he ever had to make. And then was subsequently claimed by the Jazz and made himself
Guarding him.
Paul George has Favors switch on to him, and George. Clippers leading by 10. George for three. Got it!
He said, if my basketball instincts tell me to take lots of threes, I'm going to do it.
When undrafted out of Baylor and played overseas in 3 different countries, Paul George. George stops behind the three-point line and knocks down another one.
To the outside, controlled by George. To the corner. Leonard launches. It's a three.
Defensively.
Clippers blew the game wide open in the fourth quarter. George.
They have not defended well on this court thus far.
Paul George. Got him.
The fact that they got a defensive stop and an attack in transition creates a good look in Paul George.
The rim, the rebound to George. Leonard on the floor for LA. George. Big finish and the foul.
Not a lot of mental lapses, understanding what's available to them against this Jazz team. Gobert is not out there. We talked about it. They go three-point mode.
Pump fake, kick. Shot clock winding down. George takes it hard to the hole. Morris gives it up. George counting for three.
Quinn Snyder and his staff recognizing we've got to play earlier in the shot clock.
Paul George. This was a celebration early. Paul George got a three. 24-9 extended run. George weaving through. Bank shot goes for PG-13.
All night long.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Rebecca. Royce O'Neal, three to get Utah into the scoring column. PG-13 with a bomb for three. Clippers spread here. George, the handles. The fadeaway. Bogdanovich comes up short. George crosses, forces his way in for two.
Next level defender that the Clippers don't have. Should be more opportunities to attack.
Splitting defenders for the Jazz. They lead at 51-44. George trying to take it at Gobert. Fadeaway. Oh, that is silky smooth. Eight times. Out of the timeout. George sizing up O'Neal. The drive inside for two and a foul. The strength of Paul George.
Spaced, and they had Gobert outside the paint. Therefore, he can't get over in time to help on the contest.
This season. George, fade, money.
This game offensively.
After the Mitchell miss, George, season opening, finishes with the offhand. George, once again, Bogdanovich. Step back three, splash for Paul George. He is feeling it tonight. Clippers up by 4 with possession. Isolation for George. George is fouled, and he's got it.
And all the rhetoric and the conversation and the slights of Paul George, because of last year, this guy has stepped up and stepped up in a big way.
Conley, stolen by George. George on the drive, gets inside, muscles his way in.
Jordan says it's Ty who taught him all the routines he needed, how things are different in the playoffs.
Bad pass and stolen by Gobert, who turns it right back over. And Paul George, an easy bucket. Paul George, a three-pointer. That's good. George, guarded by Clarkson, rises up high. Arcing shot is good. George with Mitchell on him. Gobert lurking. Step back, two-pointer. It's good.